Good morning, welcome to day 6 of our 30-day challenge, and today we will be doing 3 rounds of breathing. I'll do a minute breath hold, 90-second breath hold, and then we are going to do a 1-minute breath hold, but we're going to hold a yoga asana while we do that one, and I will talk you through that before we start. And then we're going to do a beautiful full body vinyasa flow using some of the techniques that we've already brought and sort of bring them all together. For those of you that are more experienced with yoga, I will give you some up level options like a jump back chaturanga, and so we will explore those options. We'll do an inversion today, so I will give you options for that too. And let me know how you get on. I really do enjoy your feedback, and I will see you at the end. Okay, so in our final breath hold today of 1 minute, we're going to do camel's pose. Now, there's options for this. So with your knees hip width apart, you can take the hands onto the base of the spine, lean backwards and put the head back if your neck is comfortable. Or you can turn the toes and then come on, bring the hands to the heels. Bringing the pushing the bottom and the back forward, or the full extension of the pose is feet flat on the floor, hands onto the heels, and we're trying to keep the pelvis in line with the knees. Okay, so we're going to do that as our final breath hold for 1 minute. Okay, so let's come sitting or lying on the mat and breathing in through the mouth or the nose for 30 breaths. Ready? Round 1. Big breath in and out. Belly, chest, head, let it go. In and out, in and out. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Breathing in and out, in and out. Take the breath in and out. It's like circular motion, so there's no space at the top of the breath or the bottom of the breath. We're continually breathing in to 100% of our capacity, and then letting the air go passively to about 70%. And we're going to do this 30 times each round, hyper-oxygenating the body and creating a more alkaline state. And let's really, really concentrate on the breathing, really focus on the sensations that these big breaths incur. 10 more. Let's make the last 10 big ones. So really focus on that breath in. Really, really watch it come in and then go away again. 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one, big breath in. All the way in and let it all the way out. This is breath completely out. Close down the eyes and we'll hold this breath out for 1 minute. If you need to take a breath before, that's absolutely fine. Take a recovery breath. And if you want to hold your breath for longer, I'll cue you up at 10 seconds to go. And you can pause the video and then rejoin when you're ready. As I said before, this is the practice I do before I do a workout or do yoga. My own practice is 4 rounds of about 20 minutes each morning before I get out of bed, which is what Wim recommends. It's about 20 minutes a day. And obviously a nice cold shower or dip. So really focus on the sensations in the body now. 10 seconds left for those that you want to pause the video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now big breath in, huge breath, and hold it. Force the air upwards, so the root lock, the belly lock, the throat lock. Pushing this breath into the head, decalcifying the pineal gland, reconfiguring the pituitary, really forcing hormetic stress and a hormone release. Round 2. 30 more breaths in and out, like the waves on the shore, coming in and out. Feel the relaxation as you do this. Feel the calm. Breathe in relaxation and just let go any tension that you're holding on to. Whilst it is a forced in-breath, and so it's quite strenuous on the body, forcing that diaphragm down, when you go inside and you really focus on the breath, You can make it a really relaxing process. Obviously, if you do feel any anxiety, you may prefer to breathe through the nose, as sometimes hyper-oxygenating can cause just a little bit of anxiety to well up if you suffer from that. If you don't, then breathe in through the nose or the mouth. And as usual, just make this your own practice. Okay, we're doing really well. So we're in and out, in and out. Beautiful, keep going. Huge belly breaths in. Really just doing so much good. We're doing so much good for the body. We've got 10 more here. Besides the effect on the immune system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and all of the hormone, the lymphatic and endocrine systems, we're also exercising the internal fascia and muscles and smooth muscle of the body. 5 more. 3 more. In and out. 2 more. And this is our last one of round 2. Huge breath in. And release. Okay, amazing. Let's close down the eyes. We're holding this for 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes. I'll let you know when you've done a minute. And for those that you want to hold longer, I'll let you know when we get to 10 seconds to go, so you can pause the video. So really close down the eyes, focus on the sensations in the body, feel into the feet and the ankles, the knees. Feel the sensations in the thighs and the hips, base of the spine, the stomach, the chest. Find your heartbeat. See if you can relax so much that you slow your heartbeat down. Feel down into the arms and the fingers and up into the head. Focus behind the eyes. What can you see? We've done a minute here together. Any lights behind the eyes with the eyes closed down? Is the energy, the prana that we've got moving through this practice. It's quite beautiful. It's a really good way of releasing any energy that's trapped. It's a really good way of boosting your mood. 10 seconds left together. If you want to pause, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big in-breath, huge belly breath in. Force the air upwards and hold it. We're tensing all the muscles all the way up into the head. Force it upwards, push. Last push, keep going. And release, amazing. Okay, we're going to move on to round 3. 30 big breaths in and out. In and out. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. It's such a beautiful breathing technique. Really doesn't take very long in the day, but it gives you so much back. I've practiced this technique for just over 2 years, and the changes it's brought to my health, both physically and emotionally, are radical. I can only just ever say good things about it. So huge breaths in and out. In and out. You're doing so well. Keep going. It's almost an active meditation when you really focus on those breaths. Really watch the breath come in. Imagine and visualize the breath rushing down and filling your lungs and then seeping out. 10 more. As ever, let's make these the biggest ones. They're the last ones of our practice today. In and out. Forcing the air in. Forcing the belly open. The lungs open and into the head. So extra sip in the head that brings that lovely head rush. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. This is our last one. And let all of the air go. And then come onto the knees and either take camel pose with the hands at the back, the hands onto the heels with the toes turned under, or the full extension of the pose, feet flat on the floor, hands on the heels. And we're pushing that bottom forwards over the knees, taking an arch in the back, opening the shoulders, opening the heart. And if you are comfortable, take the head completely back, because this is stimulating the thyroid and the parathyroid gland, which is going to start your metabolism absolutely working at an impeccable, beautiful rate. I'm going to get photo bombed here. It's lockdown, so there's going to be lots of children featured over the next 24 days together. Keep going. Okay, sit back onto the heels. Take an in-breath. This is our last one. Hold it, force it upwards. Hold the breath in. Push it up into the head. Hold it. Last push. Tense the muscles. And let go. And then just fold forward onto the mat, head to the mat, into a beautiful child's pose. Extend those arms forwards, increasing the opening in the chest, forehead gently on the mat, and the body folding between the knees. If child's pose is difficult for you and you can't get your bottom to your feet, use a cushion or a rolled up blanket between them so you're in a comfortable position. It's a beautiful hip compression. Okay, come to seated at the front of the mat. We'll take some more recovery breaths. And then tent the right fingers, take the left hand to the head and gently take a stretch down that right hand side, keeping the neck and shoulders in line with the body. Take the right hand to the left side of the head, tent the left fingers, and let's get stretched down the left hand side of the body. And a very gentle neck stretch. We're not tugging on the head, just gently letting gravity get that stretch. Okay, bring the shoulders up to the ears and then drop them down. Really just clearing out any stress at the shoulders. So you raise them right up to the ears and drop them down. Breathe in as you raise them up and out as you let them go. Keep going. And now take your hands into a bear grip, and I want you to, keeping your elbows parallel to the floor, try and separate your hands, really forcing them open. And now take your hands in an opposite bear grip twist, and they do the same again, really pulling those fingers apart. Really getting the energy and the prana working so your body shakes. Excellent. Okay. Breathe in, raise the hands up high, and then take the right hand to the left knee, look over the left shoulder. Breathe in as you lengthen, and breathe out as you twist a little more. Breathe in, come back to centre, and breathe out to the left hand to the right knee, looking over the right shoulder. Breathe in as you lengthen, and out as you twist a little more. Breathe in, hands back to centre, above the head, and then we're going to come onto all fours. We're going to take a cat-cow variation. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to take the left leg and bring it into the sternum. So this is our, as we bring it in, that's our cat. And as we take it out, that's our cow. So breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. It's exactly the same movement as cat-cow, but we've just got a little bit more movement with that leg. And a slight twist this will create across the body. Keep going, breathe in. And then change legs. So this time the right leg lifts and then comes into the head and lifts. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So our cow stretch is the nose and the knee coming together, and the cat is taking the leg high. So the other way around. So this is the cat, that's the cow. Okay, bring the knee back to the mat. And then we're going to take the left leg to 90 degrees and just pulse. Keeping the hips in line so the work is in the thigh. We're just going to get some mobility into the hips and a bit of heat into those glutes. Just pulsing up to the ceiling, and then take big circles, so brushing past the knee and then wide circles. So we're going to do this 3 times. Circle that knee, take it out wide, brush past the knee, take it out wide, and then come back to all fours, and we're going to do that on the other leg. So take the right leg and pulse it up to the ceiling with the foot at 90 as though you're stamping on the ceiling, keeping the hips even so the work is in the glutes and the thighs. Keep going, keep pulsing, and then brush that next to the knee, take it out wide. So we're doing a great big circle with that hip, really getting some mobility into the hip socket. Last one. Take it out nice and wide. Amazing. Okay, come back to all fours, and we're going to take a puppy pose or heart melting pose. So take the hands to the width of the mat, weight over the knees more or less, and the head to the mat. And we're just going to open out the heart, we're going to open out the shoulders, and take a nice back bend in this position. Heart melting pose. And just breathe. Breathe in and out through the nose. Just bringing some calm and relaxation. And these postures, you can keep your eyes closed. Come back to all fours. I take a toe stretch. So sit back with the toes turned under onto the heels. And then we'll also take a heart opener. So bring the hands into Venus lock behind the back. Take the head back. So we're getting a chest opener, heart opener, opening up that thyroid and parathyroid if your neck is comfortable. And we're getting a nice stretch and warm in those toes. It's really important to warm up every angle of the body, especially the toes, because they work quite hard in yoga. Okay, now come to a child's pose, and we're doing a variation. So the right arm comes forwards and the left hand comes underneath, and we come onto the left cheek and the left shoulder. It's a variation on thread the needle, but in a child's pose. So we're getting a compression in the hips and the shoulder and a stretch down the other side of the body. Back to centre, and then take the right hand underneath the left arm, come onto the right shoulder and the right cheek, getting a compression in the other side of the body. It's very, very passive, but is working a lot. We're getting a good stretch in those glutes and the lower back, and a nice twist and a compression. Come back to centre, and then come through low, remaining low, into a Cobra. So the hands underneath the shoulders, take the head back if you're comfortable, and we're just going to breathe in and out in this Cobra, pushing up through the arms so we're not collapsing into the shoulders. We don't want any damage in those beautiful shoulder joints. Turn the toes under, and we'll take our first downward dog of the day. So let's find some movement, pedaling out one leg and then the other. Remember, downward dog is also a shoulder opener, so there's no weight in the head, and we're folding forward between the arms. Hands are evenly spread with the weight all the way through it, and the legs and the heels are working towards straight, the heels towards the floor, heels slightly turned out. Okay, now take a step forwards. We're going to take a twist here. Bring the right hand to the centre of the mat, and take the left hand to the right leg, looking beneath the right arm. Remember not to collapse into that right shoulder. If you don't want to do this, stay in downward dog. Other side, so left hand comes to the mat, right hand comes to the left leg, looking under the left shoulder. If you don't want to do this, stay in dog. It is quite complicated, or you can pause the video and try it. Come back to your downward dog, and then ripple forwards into a plank, and then ripple back into downward dog, and then wave forward again into a plank, and then wave back into your dog, and then step forward to the front of the mat, take a forward fold, and I'd like you for this one to bring your stomach to your knees, so keep your knees bent, and we'll just find some movement take the hands to ragdoll if possible with no weight in the head, and just bend one knee and then the other, straightening one, bending the other, finding some movement, finding some expression in those hamstrings. And then take a twist, bring the right hand to the mat, left hand high. You don't have to keep your legs straight at this point. Taking a twist in the torso, and then change hands. So the left hand comes to the mat, the right hand comes high, looking up to the right hand, up to the ceiling. Again, you don't have to keep your legs straight at this stage if it's not comfortable. Go to where you can. Come back to your forward fold, and then roll up to standing, arms above the head. Breathe in and breathe out, hands to heart center. Okay, let's start doing some flowing. So breathe in, hands above the head. Breathe out, forward fold, swan dive, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, step back into a plank. And remember, you have options here. You can either come to your knees and lower to the floor, to a cobra. Or you can do a chaturanga, where you lower to the floor. So take it to where you want to. So all the way on the floor now, and we're going to come up to a cobra again and lower. So breathe in as we come up to cobra, and breathe out as we lower back to the floor, forehead to the mat. Last time, breathe in as we come up to cobra. This is called a rolling cobra. And breathe out as the forehead comes back to the mat. Now take hold of the outside of the feet with the hands, and I'd like you to raise everything off the mat. So we're opening the shoulders, we're opening out the front of the body. And this, if you can, take the head back in line with the neck. And this is really going to work every major muscle group in your body. It's called half bow pose, and it is quite beautiful, but it's also quite tricky. Lower everything back to the mat, and if you can, push up into a plank. And if not, meet me back in downward dog. So here we are in downward dog. Just find some stillness, come back to your breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Nice, long, steady breaths. I generally do a slightly shorter in-breath and out-breath. Okay, step to the front of the mat. Take a forward fold, breathe out and breathe in. Come up to standing, raise the hands above the head and breathe out, hands to heart center. Let's flow again. We're going to variation this time. Breathe in, raise the hands high. Breathe out, swan dive, forward fold. Don't hit your head on a piano. Breathe in, halfway lift. And breathe out. You can either step back this time to chaturanga or jump back to chaturanga for an upward level. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, downward dog. Take it to where you want to. You can still do it on your knees, the chaturanga. You can do a jump back or you can do a step back. Take it to where you want to. Raise the right leg high, three-legged dog, and step it through to a low lunge. We did these yesterday in our yin poses. So look forward with the head. No, not too much weight in the hands, remember. And then I want you to take the hands off the mat, and we're going to come into a high lunge. So the back heel is still turned up. Looking forwards, arms internally rotated, and then open out to that warrior two, which we also did a few days ago. Bend down into that knee, open out the hips, looking over the right shoulder. And then I want you to straighten the leg, breathe in, bring the hands over the head, and breathe out down into the warrior. Breathe in, straighten the leg, raise the arms. Breathe out into your warrior. Last time, breathe in, straighten the legs, bring the hands over the head, and then tick-tock over into your triangle pose, Trikonasana. We also did this a few days ago, if you remember. And you can use a block or bring your hands to your heel, to your ankle or your thigh, but not your knee, remember. And we're looking up to that top arm if you're finding it easy to balance. Reverse your triangle. And then we're coming to side angle pose. So you can either take the elbow to the knee and then raise the hand above the head, or you could bring the right hand to the floor with the or if it's in your practice, you can take the bind. So the right hand comes under the right knee and the left hand binds the right behind your back. Gazing upwards or straight ahead. Come back to your side angle with your hand on your knee. Back to your low lunge. So turn the back heel up and then step back. Chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. And then flip over those toes back into your downward dog and come back to your breath if you've lost the breath at this stage. Remember never to hold your breath. Even if you don't do the breath at the same pace, never hold it. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Step through to that low lunge. So the right heel stays turned up. We're gazing forward and there's not much weight in those fingers. Now I want you to come up to using your ab strength to a high lunge, shoulders away from the ears. Internally rotate the shoulders, knit the ribs in. And then open up to that warrior two. Gazing over those left fingers this time. Making sure that the right knee isn't over the toes. You can see them. Even weight through both legs. And then straighten the leg, raise the hands. Breathe out as you bend into the warrior two. Breathe in as you straighten. Breathe out as you bend. Breathe in as you straighten. Keep the legs straight this time. And we'll tick-tock over into a trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, you can bring the hand to the block, your ankle or your thigh, depending on your flexibility. And we're gazing up at those top fingers. Or if you find it tricky to balance, you can look at the floor or straight ahead. Come up and we're going to reverse that triangle. So take the arm backwards and a side stretch. And then we're going to come into that side angle pose. So you can either bring the hand to the knee, or you can bring it to the floor or a block. Or if it's in your practice, you can take the bind. Go to where you are comfortable and where you're at. And it's also good to challenge yourself. So if there's an up level option you haven't tried yet, give it a try. You can always pause the video. Come back to your side angle pose with the hand on the knee. Turn the right heel back up. Low lunge. Step back, chaturanga, or plank into cobra. Upward dog, breathe in. Downward dog, breathe out. There will be enough time with each downward dog for you to come to the floor and do a cobra if you're not doing a chaturanga. Okay, if you have it in your practice, hop forward to the front of the mat. If not, step forward, forward fold. Breathe in. Take a chair with the hands raised above the head. And then breathe out, hands to heart center. Breathe in, chair. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. And breathe out, jump back chaturanga or step back. Breathe in, upward dog. Breathe out, downward dog. We're going to take warrior one. This is a classic sun salutation B, so raise the right leg, step forward between the hands, turn the back heel down to 30 degrees toes, and then raise up to warrior one. Breathe out to chaturanga. Breathe in, upward dog. Breathe out, downward dog. We'll take it the other side. So the left leg lifts high, three-legged dog. Step it through between the hands, spin the back heel down, raise up to warrior one using your core strength, internally rotate the shoulders, and breathe out. Chaturanga, all the way to cobra. Breathe in, flip over those toes, breathe out, downward dog. Amazing, well done. And just come back to your breath in the downward dog. We're going to do a variation on the sun salutation B with our next flow. So hop forward to the front of the mat, fold forward, breathe out, breathe in, chair pose, and breathe out, hands to heart center. Okay, let's take a variation of this beautiful flow. Okay, so we're going to breathe in, chair, and then bring the hands to heart center. Take the left elbow to the right knee, looking over towards the back of the room. Look down, and we're going to step the left foot back, and we're taking a twisted lunge. So find your balance. If you need to pause the video to practice this, that's fine. So we're looking back, we're in a twisted lunge. So the hands are still in that prayer pose. And then spin them open into warrior two. Take a reversed warrior, so get that stretch down the side body with the left hand down the left leg. And then take that side angle pose. with hand on the mat if possible. Back to warrior two. Straighten out those legs. We'll come into a 5-pointed star. Bend the knees into a squat. Straighten up, 5-pointed star. Hands to heart center, squat. 5-pointed star. Now parallel out the feet and take a forward fold here. So if you can bring the hands to the legs, that's ideal. And if you can't, just bring them to the mat or a block. And just really fold forward over the legs. Then take the left hand to the right leg and gaze up at the the right hand. And then take the right hand to the left leg or near, and then gaze up at those at the right hand. And then heel toe yourself back to the front to a low lunge at the front of your mat. Step back, chaturanga, upward dog. Breathe out, downward dog. Come back to your breath. My left and rights are shocking today. I can only apologise. Dyslexia the struggle is real. Okay, hop forward to the front of your mat. Fold forwards. Forward fold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Raise the hands. Breathe out. Hands to heart center. Breathe in. Chair pose, arms raised, then bring the hands to heart center. I'm going to take the right elbow to the left knee this time, looking over that left shoulder. Keeping our knees in line. And then step back with the right leg this time into a twisted high lunge. So getting a beautiful twist up that body. And then we're going to spin the arms open, windmill them open, turn down the back heel and sink down to that front knee, warrior two. Just hold the pose and then take a side angle pose with the hands to the mat this time. Getting a nice line of energy from the foot all the way to the hand, back to our warrior two. And then parallel, come to a 5-pointed star, squat down. 5-pointed star, raise up. Breathe out, squat down. Breathe in, 5-pointed star. Breathe out, parallel out the feet and fold forward. I'm going to give you some options now for an inversion. So you can either stay here in this forward fold, or the options are, well, you're going to have various. So you can either put your legs up the wall and just have the feet raised above the head, which is absolutely fine. Or you could take a shoulder stand. So you're going to roll onto the shoulders with the hands at the base of the lower back to support you, keeping the head still. Or you can do a headstand, head in hands headstand. So you cup your hands together, put your head, the crown of your head into the cup of your hands, and then just push your weight forwards. So the weight of it is on the crown of your head and the hands, and then just pop one leg up and then the other, or you can bring the legs to your elbows if you want to. You can tell I don't do this one very often. A little bit wobbly. Straighten out the legs. Or you can do, from where we were, in a wide-legged stance, a tripod headstand, which is what I'm going to do. If you want to do that, which is a slightly up level, so just go to where you can. So anything from feet up the wall, a shoulder stand, to the variation of a headstand. So if you're with me on this headstand, take the legs high, and let's just hold this pose and really enjoy the inversion. You can either keep the legs out straddled or together. Okay, bring them back down, and we're going to meet me back in that wide-legged forward fold. Last push with that, then come up, 5-pointed star. Amazing. If you're still with me, come back to a low lunge at the front of the mat. Step back, chaturanga, downward dog, sorry. And just breathe. Breathe into this downward dog. You're doing really well. Okay, so meet me now sitting on the mat, and we're going to come into a boat pose. So we've done a few boat poses now. We're going to do from boat pose, we're going to do a low boat pose. So we're going to lower everything onto the mat except the head and the legs are still raised. So that's 1, 2, we're going to do 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, keep going, 7, 8, nearly there, last push, 9, this is our last one, 10, just hold the boat, excellent. Just do a little bit more on this core because it's absolutely key to really enjoying your yoga. We're just going to either bring the hands underneath the bottom or to the side, and using your core, piston the legs. So taking the legs out parallel one at a time. Really forcing the lower back onto the mat and forcing the core to work here. This is an awesome exercise for the core. Okay, take hold of those knees, have a rock from side to side. We're nearly done on the core. We're just going to do a little bit more. We're going to do alternate leg lifts. So take the right leg down the mat and the left leg high, and then change them over as though you're doing a great big walk on the ceiling. And if you're feeling especially active today, let's bring the hands in. So reach up, opposite arm, opposite leg, lifting the head and the shoulders off the mat too. Just keep going. Like a dying fly. Keep going. Lifting one leg then the other. Try and keep them as straight as possible. Bring the knees to the chest. Just counteract that. Have a nice roll from side to side. Then we're going to come into a bridge pose. So heels into the bottom. Come up onto the shoulders. We'll open those shoulders out as well. So Venus lock beneath the bottom. And then come onto the toes. And I want you to lift and lower 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, pushing up as hard as you can, 4, 5, keeping the neck and shoulders in line, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and hold it. Just have that last push. And release. Well done, amazing. And then just roll up to sitting. We'll do a few stretches to finish. We'll take a cow stretch. So we're going to stack the right knee on top of the left. If it looks like one knee is in the air, it's fine. Just go to where you can. And then we're going to take the right hand and bind the left over the top. And if you can't do that, that's fine. Take a strap and do it. Or you can just hold your shoulders behind, your elbows behind your back. Or you can take the hands to prayer position. Only take this bind if your neck is comfortable and if you are not compressing your neck with that elbow. So we're stack. It's a really, really, really strong hip stretch. So now bring the right knee to the floor and take the left, stack the left knee on top, and then take the right arm over the top and the left arm under for the bind, or take prayer pose, hold onto the elbows, or use a strap. Again, only do this bind if you're not compressing the neck with the elbow. It's a very, very deep stretch. Okay, awesome. Take the legs wide. Actually bring the right foot into the left thigh and look over the left shoulder. Take a twist. And then we're going to take a side bend so it can look like this. So you're just taking a nice side bend. And if you are feeling particularly active, then you can take hold of the left toes with the right fingers. But only do that if you can keep your torso in line with your hips, without folding forwards or compressing. Come back to centre and we'll look over the right shoulder, then the left shoulder, just counteracting those twists. Then come to a wide-legged seat on the mat, and then come onto the sitting bones, and then we're going to fold forward over the right leg, the centre, the left leg, the centre, the right leg, the centre, the left leg. This is really good. Just keep going. Getting any hips that are just slightly out, back into alignment. And then just take a forward fold over those legs. Keeping the feet and the knees working so we don't do anything funky with the joints. Just breathing here, breathing into the stretch, really enjoying it. Come up to seating. We're going to take that side stretch on the other leg. So counteract the stretch first by looking over the left shoulder. Take the left arm high and then fold towards the right foot. If you can, take hold of the right foot with the left hand, that's ace. But only do so if you can do that without twisting the body or compressing too much. So you still want to try and find length even in this pose. But ideally you could just stay upright and side bend to your capacity. And then counter twist left shoulder, counter twist right shoulder. And then we'll come to a butterfly pose or cobbler's pose. So bring the soles and the heels together and use the elbows to open those knees a little bit more. Really sit up through the sitting bones, straighten out the back. Just tilt the neck, the chin down a little bit. And then we're going to fold onto the back. Bring the knees to 90, arms to goalpost or T position. And rock those knees over to the right, looking over the left shoulder. And breathe into this beautiful twist, getting into the lateral side of the body, shaping the waist and squeezing out any toxins that we've moved along during this process. Bring the knees back to centre and breathe out. Take the legs to the left and look over the right shoulder. Or as I do, by the time I get to this part of the practice, I just have my eyes closed most of the time. I find this very relaxing at this stage. Okay, bring the knees in and we're going to do happy babies. You can either hold behind the thighs onto the ankles or if possible, hold onto the feet and then just rock from side to side. We're compressing the hips here, so we're not lifting the bottom off the mat, we're not lifting the shoulders off the mat. The work is all in the thighs and the hips. Counteracting on the hard work we've just done. Okay, then take the legs along the mat, open up the hands, breathe in and sigh it out. Big breath in, sigh it out. Big breath in and sigh it out. This is our last one, and then just come back to your breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. Let everything fall heavy into the mat as though you're sinking through a delicious relaxation into your mat. And just scan the body. Feel the work integrate. Feel the activity, feel the energy integrate. Okay, just circle those hands on the wrists and the feet. Take a stretch. Roll up to sitting. You can stay longer in Shavasana, corpse pose if you want to. But if not, join me sitting at the front of the mat. And bring your hands to your heart. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the divine light within you guide your way on. From my heart to yours. Namaste. Sat Nam. Waheguru. So, how did that go? I hope you all enjoyed that and you're feeling nice and refreshed and better for getting some movement and some beautiful deep breathing. Tomorrow, so every 7 days, ideally, we should have like a rest and restorative day. But what I think we'll do tomorrow on the basis of that, well, I'm in the UK, and so obviously we've got into lockdown. I know a lot of people are feeling a little bit deflated by that. So we're going to do a very uplifting, mood-lifting Kundalini Kriya. And I think you will probably enjoy that. That's really awesome. I've got my little one doing me pictures, keep me going. And so, yeah, so we'll do that tomorrow. And then on day 8, we'll do our restoring and a relaxation. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.